Earth's enormous velocity.
Higher.
And Kim.
Knowledge far in advance of our own.
That's a smart thing.
Contact is established. We now transmit you direct.
Item 9.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is terrific.
All right, so. Hey, this is Item 9 Podcast. This is Kim.
And Hyra.
So this is part 2 of our, what did we call last week's episode? What did I name it? Oh, the video piracy.
Oh, yeah.
Episode, which we focus mainly on the Max Headroom incident, which I'm going to continue to talk about, but then I'm also going to talk about a couple of other cases of video piracy that's happened over the years. A lot of them actually take place in the 80s. Like, they was having a struggle period where people was jumping on them airwaves, because there's one that I think is interesting, and I think it happened the year before.
Mm-hmm.
I have to look again because I haven't looked at any of these notes since last week. I think we left off talking about the FCC and them, hardcore trying to figure out who it was that jumped in on the airwaves twice.
Mm-hmm.
So here are some there's been lots of rumors on who people believe were responsible for the Max Headroom incident.
Spill the tea, girl. Tell us.
Let me tell you. So the first one, which it's strange. This guy, his name was Eric Fournier, I think. He was a musician. And the reason why people think he did it is because, I guess, early YouTube was a weird place. Anytime I hear something that says early YouTube, it's a weird video. Mm-hmm. If you look up early YouTube, you're going to see some strange stuff. So early YouTube, he made a series of videos, which I think all of them are taken down. But people put stuff back up all the time.
Yeah. Nothing really disappears on the interwebs.
Yeah, once it hits the internet, it's there.
Mm-hmm.
He made a series of videos, and it was like a mannequin-esque figure that was a female, and she would say weird stuff, and so they felt like the themes and the way his videos were filmed were similar to the Max Headroom incident.
Oh, wow.
And there's even the whole story where people believe that because he's a musician, he's in a band,
mm-hmm.
that he was going to play his band's music video
on TV.
Oh. And chickened out last second, and this was his, I'm doing something. But then his band members are like, that's impossible because we didn't have a video. I don't even think they have one.
Oh, wow.
Like a music video that he could have posted. And so from my research, it didn't show that he had said anything about it. I don't know if he just ignored it. He never made any statements on it. But unfortunately, now you can't ask him because he passed in 2010, I think, from alcoholism.
R.I.P., my friend. R.I.P.
Yeah. But he was like a front runner of theorists
mm-hmm.
who were trying to figure out, I don't know who the police actually looked into, but he was a front runner on that one. Now, the second one that I want to talk about is crazy. And I kind of wanted to read it, the Reddit post, but it's kind of long.
Read it anyway.
I guess, and just cut it out.
Yeah.
But I'll give you the notes that I put down first. So, it's a post from a Reddit user.
Something is tapping on your microphone.
Oh, maybe it was my mouse.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Uh-huh.
Can you hear it now?
No.
Okay. So, the next one that's has a lot of attention is this Reddit post from B Pogue. It's from 9 years ago. It's been out for a while.
Oh, wow.
He pretty much states that he might know who he's still not even sure, but he thinks he might know who did it. He believes it's two brothers, which he refers to as J and K.
That's us! You guys, we did it.
Wow, yeah, because we're two brothers named J and K who were around in the 80s.
Girl, time traveling.
That they were involved, the two brothers were involved in the Chicago hacking scene back in the 80s. He became friends with them through pretty much message boards. But sometimes these people in the message boards would occasionally meet up. You know, it's a different time now. You could get murdered or whatever. But back then, I guess it was a little bit safer because it was new.
Hey, it's like meetup.
Yeah, and so, and that's in the late 80s because remember, this incident happened in 87.
Mm-hmm.
So he knew them back then. So pretty much his whole thing talks about, he met up with them one time and because there was a party. So a lot of people were coming there. Mm-hmm. They had, you know, a lot of computer stuff at their apartment. Because one of the brothers, I think, lives at home with the mom and the other brother lived with like a roommate and his girlfriend, I think. Let me look, because I have the story up on my computer.
Hey, I want to hear it because, you know, obviously tell me if you're not going to tell the people.
Okay. So it says, what I know about all of it in a nutshell. When I was in my early teens, which in my head, early teens, I'm like, so you're like, hopefully at least 14.
Hopefully.
He out here meeting with adults that he met on the internet, but
That's
whatever.
Crazy. He could have been snatched up, and this thing would have never came to light.
Snatched. It says, when I was in my early teens, a number of my friends were into the local freaking/hacking scene. This is suburban Chicago from about 1985 until 1993 or so.
I'm sorry, I gotta stop you real quick. Did you just say freaking and hacking?
That's what it says, but it's PH.
Okay. Wow.
That's, I guess, what they was calling being hackers or something. I don't know.
Okay, sorry.
I didn't look up the terminology. All right. They were much older than me, high school and college age, but they put up with me as sort of novelty, I guess.
Wow.
They liked the fact that I looked up to them as a quasi role models, at least. In any event, I spent countless hours/nights over the ensuing years hanging out with them on local BBSs and dial-up chat rooms.
Oh, wow.
Well, it says chat systems. And the occasional in-person get-together. Most of them were just casual acquaintances. In most cases, I only knew them by their handle, but a few I knew by name. 2 of the people I knew were brothers.
No, here we come.
And this is in bold.
Ah.
This is the point in the story where you folks aren't going to be happy with me. It says, I still remember their full names, but I don't think it's a good idea to share them publicly.
Good idea.
There are a couple of reasons, ones that I think most fair-minded people would agree with. First, there's the obvious. The FCC will still want to have a little talk with at least one of the 2 brothers. Mm-hmm. Who we'll call Jay.
Hello.
The other one who I believe was it says, who we'll call Jay. The one who I believe was behind it. Secondly, the person who I believe did it, Jay, has moderate to severe autism.
Dang.
And at least at the time was being cared for by his brother who we'll call K.
Oh, you're taking care of me.
I don't want to disrupt their lives. Thirdly, I don't have complete proof. I only heap of circumstantial evidence, although I've tried recently to contact them to ask them privately, as a fellow Redditor suggested, with no luck. So he must have threw this out with his Reddit friends, and someone was like, hey, why don't you see if you can still talk to them? And they tried, but they could not.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, back to our charming childhood story.
Let's go.
Man, I know people should be inherently skeptical here, so I'll do my best to provide you with as much in the line of details as I can remember. I hope it's enough to show that I am not making anything up here. People who were into the hacking scene back then were basically the same type of people who were into the hacking scene now. Guys who live in their parents' basements.
Wow.
Charming, brilliant guys who don't think to bathe often and often lacking in social skills pretty much across the board.
That's very stereotypical. Okay.
They hang out at Denny's until they're asked to leave. They can quote Monty Python sketches from memory and sleep with J.R.R. Tolkien books under their beds where other guys stash porn. Despite the lack of good grooming and social skills, there was the occasional party every so often and at least a get together at somebody's place.
At least I had friends.
Yeah. They wasn't bathing all the time, but they had friends.
Yeah, well, all the non-bathers can hang out together every once in a while.
One of these get-togethers was in an apartment in town called LaGrange, a suburb of Chicago, in the winter of 1987. This is the year that the incident happened.
Wow.
It says Kay lived in a shared apartment with his girlfriend, along with a roommate, also a fellow hacker, who we'll refer to as M. Kay and his girlfriend lived in one half of the apartment, and M lived in the other half. Jay lived with his parents and never moved out.
Oh.
I believe Jay and Kay were originally from Downers Grove or Darien. Anyway, the 2 rooms of this apartment were separated by a clothesline hung in a doorway and a huge rug hung over it. Practically every square inch, with an exception of one corner, was packed with systems working, with some apparently non-working. I remember how the apartment looked in detail because it was the first time I had ever seen an 80-column screen.
Oh, wow.
It was hot as hell in there, too. I can
Shit,
imagine
I
all those
know.
computers. It probably was way hot.
And they weren't bathing.
Anyway.
Imagine the beat. Oh, gosh.
Anyway, the apartment was located in a rather run-down-looking apartment high-rise, maybe 4 to 5 stories tall, located within walking distance of a Pizza Hut.
I love Pizza
We
Hut.
all walked over and did lunch/dinner there that day.
You know what? I didn't know. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, so pretty much they just hung out with them all day this day.
Mm-hmm. Side note, I didn't know that going to Pizza Hut was a thing. Like, you know how we go to Shakey's and stuff like that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, families back in the day used to go to fucking Pizza Hut.
Yeah, and sit in and eat.
I can't imagine that. Like, I've always gotten delivery or carry out. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
They don't even have tables there no more. Like,
They really don't.
Shit.
They barely got a bench that you can sit on and wait for your
Bed.
pizza.
You're right. Okay, sorry. Continue.
All right, so Kay was a quiet guy.
Shit, sounds like
Even
you.
though he lived in this apartment with his girlfriend, he often took care of his older brother Jay, who still lived at home.
Wow.
The degree of Jay's autism was such that I doubt he would ever hold down a job, even a part-time job.
Shit.
Jay, despite having fairly severe autism and coming off as basically crazy, was actually kind of funny. His sense of humor was sort of disturbing, sort of sexually deviant in nature. He wasn't very personable, but he was funny. The sort of person that you would feel kind of uncomfortable sitting next to as a kid, but he would grow on you after a while, and you would accept him as one of the group after realizing that his mannerisms were odd but basically harmless. No eye contact ever, but the dirty jokes were funny, at least to me as a 13-year-old at the time. Okay, yeah, he was 13, I forgot.
13. Fuck.
So he's probably like, wow, that guy really said that, and he's probably having the
Best
the most
time.
fun.
He's like, he just said vagina. Ah!
Right. Although it's circumstantial, this is the first bit of evidence I have. The Max Headroom video features a guy who at one point holds up what appears to be a vibrator or a dildo and tosses it out of frame. The end of the video shows a woman dressed up like Annie Oakley swatting someone's bare ass with a fly swatter.
Oh, yeah, I took that very
This-
personally.
This is the sort of humor that Jay loved. All of his jokes consistently involve something childish and or sexually deviant. The video, for all intents and purposes, is a perfect reflection of Jay's sense of humor, scattered, nervous, and comically sexually deviant.
Wow. And weird.
Yeah.
Slightly creepy.
Jay was at the party in the apartment that afternoon. I didn't talk with him directly. Me and the friend of mine that I was there with didn't really talk to anyone that day, but I did overhear what the others were talking about. They were referring to Jay planning to do something big over the weekend.
Oh, wow.
I remember the word big because it quipped my curiosity as to what might be considered big by their standards. I later asked them collectively during the dinner we all had at Pizza Hut later that night what they were talking about earlier, what big was, and someone, probably Kay, told me just to sit and watch Channel 11 later tonight.
Oh, no way.
As sort of an offhand suggestion.
Mm-hmm. Shit, that's a very, very
that was like
offhand
directly on the
search.
nose
Yeah.
because, the second video hit Channel 11.
Fuck.
I did happen to be watching Channel 11 later that night, having forgotten about the whole big conversation earlier that day. I saw it, but didn't put two and two together at the time.
Holy shit.
So he was watching Doctor Who.
Yes, because obviously he's a nerd. Fellow nerds unite, but still, like...
Whoop, whoop.
Okay.
He was watching Doctor Who.
I bet he was
Alright,
mad,
so-
too. Okay, uh-huh.
He probably was like, what the heck is this?
He's like, fucking Jay.
He said, well, he didn't put two and two together at that time,
right,
so he didn't realize. It says, a funny side note here. Thinking back to that dinner, one of the guys mentioned earlier, M, decided he was going to play a prank on the Pizza Hut staff for poor service. He got up on a chair, put a half-eaten slice of pizza on a plate on top of one of the wooden beam rafters at the restaurant. No one would have found it, presumably, until it began to rot.
That's fucked up. Wow.
So it makes sense on how he ended up being friends with these people because they're childish.
Definitely. Oh my
Like
god.
somebody was mad about the poor service and they hid a slice of pizza there.
You know what's so funny?
Move it on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead. We can talk about it later. Well,
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't really talk to people directly. His brother Kay sort of talked for him, but not like an interpreter, more like a person there to rephrase or elaborate on what Jay was talking about, to clear up what he was saying,
Wow.
to speak with him, not for him.
that's pretty much
Jay
you
was
for
much
me.
older than his brother.
I can't.
I remember having a hard time trying to place his age because he dressed very unusually and had very thick, very tinted corrective lenses. In retrospect, I'd say he was probably in his late 20s to early 30s at the time. Again, it's hard to tell.
Wow.
How old did he think Kay was, though? I don't remember if he mentions that.
I thought we were talking about Kay
All we
right
know is
now.
Jay is the older brother.
Oh,
Huh?
I thought we were talking about Kay right now, but I guess we're talking about Jay.
No, that was Jay.
Holy crap.
It says Kay talked for Jay.
Yeah.
Okay, at the end of the night, my friend and I ended up getting a ride home from Jay.
Jay drove?
Yeah.
With the amount of disability he had, I didn't know he could pay attention long enough for the road. I don't know.
At the end of the night, my friend and I ended up getting a ride home from Jay. He drove a small beat-up car with a lot of Army instructional manuals inside it.
Oh, wow.
The sort of plain black text on off yellow cardstock given to soldiers that cover all sorts of topics you learned in the military. I thought it was kind of awkward that the two of us sitting in the back seat said nothing to Jay during the ride home, so I tried to strike up some conversation with him. He never answered any of my questions. He had his own topics he wanted to talk about. And then he put paraphrasing. So this is about what he remembers talking to Jay about in the car ride.
All right.
So he said, "Hey, Jay, how old are you anyway?" Jay said, "Oh, do you know why I told you not to sit in the front seat?" Why?
Redirecting.
"Oh, in case you said something stupid." "What do you mean?" "There's a surprise under the seat for people who say something stupid." "Oh, or if you say something stupid." "Huh? What TV shows do you watch?" "I don't really watch TV." "Hey, I'm hungry. Ooh, I hope I don't say something stupid."
Is that what Jay said?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
What's
I can
going
imagine
on?
I can imagine the Redditor is just like, as a 13-year-old boy, like, okay, he's probably looking at his friend like, that was strange.
No,
but
I'd be
whatever,
looking
we
at my
need to
friend
ride
like,
home.
dude, we about to get kidnapped. We're gonna be found in a ditch. Like, that's scary.
Fun fact, you're frozen right now for some reason. I
Oh.
don't know why.
I am frozen. I'm looking down. It looks like I'm praying.
Yeah. It's weird.
Uh-huh.
All right, so it goes on. What I'm trying to illustrate here is that Jay often jumped around randomly, back and forth to different subjects when he talked. He never really kept a clear line of conversation. This brings us to the next bit or two of circumstantial evidence. If you watch the video, the person behind the mask jumps around in exactly the same way Jay. The problem is, I never spoke with Jay for anything other than that ride home, but the way he spoke was in the line of the type of verbal mannerisms of the guy in the mask. Where most people would say in conversation, Jay said oh in various lengths. Oh, if he struggled with to find something to say.
Yeah.
So instead of saying he would say
Oh. Oh, 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 oh.
On the ride home, we talked about what he did for a hobby. He was very proud of a radio he recently acquired, a police radio that he had hacked to cover practically everything from whale farts to gamma rays.
Okay,
And
that's pretty
in
badass.
quotations. That's in quotations. Which was about the only piece of non-sexual comedy I heard come out of his mouth that afternoon.
Oh, wow.
That's the fourth bit of circumstantial evidence. Jay knew a great deal about not just the broadcast spectrum, but the electronics that underpinned that sort of stuff. By definition, Jay was a broadcast hacker.
Oh. Suspicion alert. My little
Yeah.
my little antennas are going up, like searching for the fucking frequency. You can't see me, but I have little antennas.
Why are you frozen?
I don't know.
Okay. As another side note, I learned later from a mutual friend that Jay had a canister of nerve gas under the passenger seat of his car.
Damn, they could have been kidnapped. They were going to die.
It says he swore it was true and has seen it himself. It was something Jay thought was funny, like a conversation piece / something to scare people.
I am sweating.
That was his personality.
Oh, she fucking creepy? Oh my god.
Hey, he said he got something for people who say something stupid, and this was it, I guess.
Oh
Said
my
he never
God.
really connected with anyone in a friend-like way. He liked to scare people, basically, and work from there.
Shit. He was good.
Yeah, Jay was interesting. All right.
Ima-
Here's where my recollection of Jay begins to fade.
Mm-hmm.
I don't recall under what circumstance I remember first hearing about this part, but I do remember hearing that Jay loved reading newspapers.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of his particularities and maybe part of his autism. Specifically, it had to do with him hanging out at convenience stores early in the morning to be there when the papers were dropped off. That's what sealed it for me. That recollection and the fact that the guy in the mask on the video mentions newspapers repeatedly. Now, I don't know what time they dropped newspapers back in 87.
Yeah.
But here they do it
Early
at like
AF.
2 o'clock in the morning.
Hell yeah. Like
So
the
I
ass
can
crack of
only
dawn.
assume that they was dropping them at like 6 or 7 or something back then.
You know what? It's just like the only reference I have for back in the day is like the movies where you see that little boy on the fucking bike.
Yes, on the
throwing
bike,
it.
throwing them.
Yeah, like around 8 or 9 in the morning, sometimes noon,
Yeah.
just doing his job, you know?
It's a minor point, but Clutch Cargo would have also been contemporaneous. I don't even know if I'm saying it. Contemporaneous.
Okay, first of all, this dude's fucking vocabulary is superb. Like, he must have gone to a
Yeah.
good school.
Yeah, I've been getting through these words up until this point.
It's crazy. Like, come on, how can we get that kind of funding for our school? Like, imagine how much better my vocabulary would be right now. Fuck.
And I think my vocabulary is pretty good, but
Like, I can read the words, but do I know what the words mean? I was a little handicapped.
see, the thing is, I know what this word means. I just don't know how to say it.
No, yeah.
So pretty much he's saying that this show, Clutch Cargo, it would have been contemporary to Jay's childhood. So that means that it lines up
Yeah.
with when Jay would have been a kid. And so that's why he would have known. So during the broadcast interruption, during the video, he hums the theme song to this show called Clutch Cargo.
Oh.
It's an early 60s cartoon. It's kind of weird. Like, I've seen it before, and it's probably because my mom saw it on TV and she like remembered it from when she was a kid or something. But it's weird because it's a cartoon, but the mouths are like real people mouths.
Like that orange dude, or like those things I like to watch with like animals and they put people mouths over it.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's
love
like
those.
that. Where instead of them animating the lips, they just
Put some real
edited
people
in
mouths in there.
people's mouths.
Wow.
Yeah. Only someone born in the 1950s would have been able to sing the theme song. If Jay was about 30 at the time in 1987, then this would make sense.
This dude did the math. Oh my goodness. A.
People do the math.
Hashtag
All right,
respect.
yeah. That's about all I know. To me, the man behind the mask seems, for all intents and purposes, to be Jay.
That's crazy.
The brother mentioned in the video is his brother Kay. The woman with the fly swatter is likely Kay's girlfriend, who I may or may not have ever met. I don't think I did that day. For the record, it's speculation, but I don't think that's Jay's. But now you're back. What happened?
Hold on. Oh shit. Hold on.
What's up? Hi.
Shit, what did I do?
I think that's fine.
Well, because I'm
Yeah.
standing.
Oh, shoot.
I think I need to angle it down.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good enough.
I just unplugged it and replugged it.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right. So where was I? Okay. So he says the woman with the fly swatter is likely Kay's girlfriend, whom I may or may not have ever met. I don't think I did that day. For the record, it's speculation,
Definitely.
but I don't think that's Jay's butt getting hit with the fly swatter. I think it was Kay's. I can't see Jay allowing anyone to see him partially naked, let alone being hit with a fly swatter. Only joking about it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's pretty much all I know. And then there's an edit from 2013. I didn't read this part.
Okay, tell us. Let's learn
It
together.
says a fellow Redditor came forward recently to confirm that the people and places I mentioned were real, and the people involved actually do exist. He's agreed not to divulge any names either, so please don't pester him about it. So he found someone else who can at least partially corroborate what he remembers.
Yeah. Hey, can we have this? Is he talking? Okay, tell us.
He's thought about it too, and knows the best thing is to say nothing.
Yeah.
I didn't know this guy back then, but we probably crossed paths at some point without knowing. Personally, it doesn't really matter to me if anyone believes me or not, but I usually point people in that guy's direction if they're skeptical about what I've shared here. There's a link. Hold on.
Yeah,
Let
tell
me
us.
open this
Oh my
link
god, we're
up.
learning real time. Let's go. Hire on the scene.
So the top of this post says, and it's from 7 years ago, anyone know about the Max Headroom signal pirate from 87? In November 1987, someone briefly hijacked the airwaves of WGN and WTTW and said a bunch of weird, creepy things while wearing a Max Headroom mask.
Hashtag recap.
Yeah. Okay, okay. This story is archived, but there was an AMA a few years ago where the person claims he knows who did it. Even if it isn't true, it's still a good read. Wow, I wish I had noticed he was talking about when the AMA happened. I think he may be referring to this Pizza Hut, which is in Hodgkins, but on LaGrange Road. There are a bunch of rundown buildings in walking distance known as the Lindsay Apartments. Most of them are 2 stories, but there were larger buildings above a store that got torn down in the 2000s. Most of the tenants were Latinos by the time I began spending time there, but in 87 it's likely there were still more white families. I also don't know when that Pizza Hut started, but it has been the only one on LaGrange Road for a long time, which where they put the wrong word, where they would put a Pizza Hut. Additionally, It is likely that the OP of the AMA would have gotten confused because I believe LaGrange ends on 55th Street. So if we can find someone who lived in the Lindsay apartments in the 1980s who knew of someone with autism, then we could find the identity of the people in the story.
Wow.
Someone else brought it up and it seems to corroborate with my idea. I moved out near there when I was little and don't remember any other Pizza Huts being around.
Oh my god, this investigative stuff is going crazy. Like, what are the chances, like, out of all these people that you tell a story,
They find somebody
and they find someone who's unread and they're like, dude, I remember that shit. And now
I lived in that area.
Oh
yeah,
my
you were.
God.
They're like, no, definitely, you were on the right street. There's only one Pizza Hut over there.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Let me see. What's the rest of what he said? In the meantime, I've been approached by a number of people who are interested in writing screenplays slash
Wow.
film adaptations, whatever about the incident. I corresponded with one of them on and off over a couple of months earlier this year for the purpose of helping him with a lengthy and rather well-researched article he was writing, which has yet to be published, on the condition that I not divulge any names. There's a few edits on here. Okay, there's only a couple more. Because I'm like, this edit was from May 15th, 2013. And then the next edit is from October 17th, 2013.
Oh wow, there's
I'm
some
trying to-
gaps.
Yeah.
Oh my
And then
god, you
there's
think the
a-
FCC's after them? You think they have to be in hideout?
I don't think so. And then there's another one from November 24th, 2013. And then the last one on here is from October 11th, 2015.
Oh wow, 2015.
Oh, I just read the thing. Let me go back because I don't want to ruin it. Okay.
Okay. Tell me, I'm quaking.
Okay, it says, for what it's worth, he crossed that line with me, so I'm no longer corresponding with him.
Wow.
As part of that effort, I tried contacting J and K multiple times on his suggestion, both by phone and by postal mail, with no luck and no acknowledgement. I looked them up via Spokio and Telus, I don't know what that is, YPPIPL, and found that the brothers still live together and at least have a house in both their names.
Oh wow. So at least we know they're alive at this time.
Yeah. I have absolutely no desire to out J and K, so
Oh,
please
yeah,
don't
definitely
PM asking me to do so.
Mhm.
This is something I've thought about at great length and from every conceivable angle. What's right by everyone is to leave them alone.
Oh yeah.
I have no plans or ambitions to try again, as it seems pretty clear that they are not interested in discussing it. For the record, I am not J or K or any other pseudonym I mentioned, nor am I writing something to divulge what I know by some other means. The truth is, all I know is what I've said up above, and I've tried to be as complete as possible. I wasn't involved in any other way other than apparently hearing about it shortly before it happened. On a related note, someone pointed out recently that I live within walking distance of the Comcast uplink in Tucson, at the center of the Super Bowl porno broadcast intrusion
They say
that
porno
happened to
intrusion.
years. Girl, there are several times which I didn't know, I didn't write those down, but I can tell you from my sources. There are several times where people have broke into the broadcast and dropped porn on stuff that porn is not supposed to be.
Wow.
And so I guess somebody was like, you were into these things and you're near. And so
you
yeah,
must
there
have
was a
done it.
Super Bowl porn broadcast incident.
Whoa.
Interesting coincidence for those who think that I'm Jay, but sorry, it wasn't me. Hope it puts that rumor to rest.
Wow.
So in 2013, May, people was like, you out here hacking? And
Put
he
porn
said,
up
not
and
I.
shit.
He said, not I.
Mhm.
Okay. Edit for October 17, 2013. Some guy on 4chan trolled a bunch of people the other day claiming he was the guy who did it. He provides a short backstory, but mistakenly includes the claim that it was done live. It was like, you lied. Because it's when you watch it, it's obvious there's a cut.
Yeah.
It's obvious that there's a cut. If you know anything about, like, recording things, which a lot of people should know a little bit now with the fact that you can go live and stuff on
anything.
On every, like, platform. This person, back in 2013, obviously did not. Because there's an obvious cut in the video. So you didn't do, whoever did it didn't do anything live. They
pre-recorded.
Posted the video that they had recorded, that one detail debunks his claim completely.
Definitely.
It was proven pretty easily that the incident wasn't done live. Just watch the video. The scene jumps directly from Max being in a seated position with a moving background to one where he's standing in a bent over position with a stationary background with a new camera angle. Mm-hmm. You know anything about recording, that's obvious cut.
Mm-hmm.
And someone else in frame. When we're seeing Max, you're watching a tape being played, not a live feed. Mm-hmm. Also, there's also a scan line tearing at the very beginning of the video, which indicates a VHS or beta tape as source, not live video. The 4chan poster also claims he was paraphrasing, hanging out in an empty studio with a camera. The types of cameras used in a professional broadcasting are very different than consumer-level video cameras.
Definitely.
They cost tens of thousands of dollars, capture at resolutions much higher than stock NTSC, and don't produce broadcast-ready signals. The camera's feeds has to be post-processed by other equipment before it can be broadcast. Even if said studio camera were used, the image quality of Max would be much better.
Yeah. One
also has to wonder what a sheet of corrugated metal and a rubber dildo would be doing in a TV studio. Yeah. Nice try anyway.
Hey, what if they were into some kinky shit after dark?
They brought it with them. It was in their bag.
You never know.
That being said, the incident was likely recorded in a garage, not a studio, and recorded by 3 people, not 2. There was a small stool or flat object Max sat on, and likely a recycled bin on the floor to his right, out of frame, that he takes his prop comedy objects out of. It's the only explanation that allows that's what you get for recycled comment about the glove and soda can to make any sense along with the other clues. When the can drops to the floor, the resulting bounce sound indicates the floor was not carpeted and the room was probably small, more garage than TV studio. That's
a lot of deductions right there.
Hey, from just the sound.
I know, fuck.
There were probably 3 people in on it, giving 2 subtle clues near the end of the video. One, in the scene where Max is spanked, the camera angle is adjusted slightly up and down while being recorded. This tells you that there's someone behind the camera in addition to the 2 people in front of the frame, Max and the spanking woman. Mm-hmm. So, 3 total, which fits the count of the earlier theory of being JK and K's girlfriend. 2, my brother is wearing the other one, which indicates Max plus his brother, not pictured, plus the spanking woman, 3 people, not 2 as the imposter on 4chan has claimed.
Wow. Shit, this dude's being dissected live.
Edit from November 24th, 2013.
Is he still salty? Let's go.
Chris Nettle has published a full-length feature article in Vice/Motherboard showcasing his work in the case. Something I know from our own conversations he's put an enormous amount of time and effort into. And it has a link for it, but I didn't read this at all. More importantly, he chose to allow J and K's real names to remain secret.
Nice.
And did not attempt to hunt them down and drag them into the spotlight for the sake of building his own fame and notoriety. Resulting that temptation is something I'm actually very proud of him doing. So I guess this was the guy he was corresponding with before, and
he broke his trust.
This guy wanted to reach out, and so I guess the fact that he decided to not say their names, like, was positive.
Yeah, which like honestly, like they didn't do anything terrible. Literally, it was just a prank. You saw a little butt cheek. Like, get over it. Leave these dudes alone.
Yeah, because what's the statute of limitations for that?
Girl, I don't know. But
From 87, it's 2020 right now.
yeah, but like, come on, they didn't do.
And at
anything
this
wrong.
time, it was even less.
Yeah,
So,
it's like they didn't even do anything that major. If you're gonna leave them alone,
they didn't even show a butthole. Like,
yeah, they just show side cheek. Come on.
yeah,
Like,
side cheek isn't that bad.
I don't know. Goddamn.
Beyond that, it's a well-written piece and very fair. It's true. After all, I have absolutely nothing to offer in the form of rock-solid evidence. I wish I did. All I have are memories and a few first-hand insights, which both of which I wish I had more of.
Thanks for the
If
memories,
you were to ask
even
me,
though they weren't so great.
I don't think whoever did it will ever come forward, and even more so if it turns out I was right and it actually was J&K. For anyone who looks at the bigger picture, you evidently realize why it's best to leave well and left alone. Pound for pound, privacy is worth more than fame.
Definitely.
And then the last edit is from October 11, 2015. J&K have officially been eliminated as suspects. For more information, there's another Reddit post. I should have went down this rabbit hole. I did not.
Let's go through it together because I'm invested.
Okay, this one isn't that long because I was like, how long is this going to be? It's not that long.
Okay,
Okay, new developments in the Max Headroom incident mystery.
No way.
I suppose I should get right to the meat of it. This is the same Redditor.
Okay.
B Pogue.
Wait,
All
the 13-year-old or the other dude?
Yeah, this is the 13-year-old.
Okay, cool.
Well, the one who was,
Who was
13 in 87.
The one that
Yeah.
almost got kidnapped. All right.
All right. It says some of you who've been following the case might recall that recently that we had hinted there had been a new development in the case, one that we might have the ability to talk about in the days and weeks ahead. Well, we've now tied up our loose ends on that front, and now we can share what we know. J&K have been excluded as suspects in the Max Headroom incident. My original theory was incorrect.
Eliminated.
A little background. After the publication of the Motherboard Vice magazine article, which talked about the incident, Rick Klein, curator of the Museum of Classic Chicago Television, and I agreed to stay in touch with each other. Mm-hmm. We've become friends in the process too, which is kind of cool. But anyway, in the meantime, I occasionally revisit the idea of examining the video/audio end of things in more detail, while Rick continued to interview folks connected with the local radio television broadcast industry in Chicago at the time. My own efforts were met with some limited success, but Rick's efforts turned out to be vital. So this guy made friends with the right person.
Exactly. Whew.
Several weeks ago, Rick and I had the luxury of meeting and speaking with several engineers and technicians who were actively working for WBBM, WTTW, WGN, and other companies in the Chicago broadcasting community at the time.
Wow.
They yielded a wealth of very detailed information, including specifics about what kinds of locations, gears, physical access, and more importantly, what sort of station-specific knowledge would have been necessary in order to pull off the intrusions themselves. This was the kind of heavy engineering perspective knowledge that we had only bits and pieces to work with before, and had been trying to obtain for some time with great difficulty.
Crazy.
After the last round of interviews, which is an amazing saga in and of itself,
Hell yeah.
see below, and having looked at the resulting evidence pile in total, Rick and I have concluded that the possibility of this having been an outside job is basically zero.
No way. So it had to be from the inside.
It had to have been someone who worked at one of these broadcast studios, or if not, both. To make a long story short, all the things which needed to have been processed by an outside amateur or amateurs, no matter how talented, simply did not exist in the wild in 1987. Shit. This and other information we were never able to corroborate is what allows us to free J&K as suspects with full confidence. Rick is continuing to work with the theory he has maintained all along, the angle that Max had ties to the local Chicago broadcast community. For my part, this pretty much marks the end of my direct involvement in the case. I'm actually kind of happy about it in a way, because at least it frees up the focus of the investigation to move where it appears it should.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, we recently obtained a photo of Jay. He seems like a happy, normal, well-rounded adult with a family, a far cry from the off-the-wall character I recall him being 27 years ago, when I was newly minted, nervous 13-year-old at a party.
Shit.
So Rick and I are both here to answer questions about the case, at least where we're able to, and talk about where the focus of the investigation is now headed. Cheers.
Wow.
And it just has one edit. I'll be updating the original AMA as best I can shortly, and other posts to reflect the news presented here.
That's crazy. Oh my god. I really thought it was J and K. I was like, these dudes did it. It was them.
Yeah.
And then now they're just like, nah, bro. And I'm like,
but you know what, though? From what I have been reading, like, a lot of stuff was saying, no, it had to have been someone
from the inside.
Someone who worked there. So it's like all of the rumored people that people thought it was were all people on the outside.
Yeah.
Just like regular people who figured it out. And people who were behind the scenes, who knew the technology at the time, was like, no, there's no way you've been able to get any of this stuff anywhere unless you worked there.
That's crazy.
It's not like now where, you can save up and you can buy expensive enough equipment where you can, get the same quality. Back then, there was nowhere that you could have bought or acquired that type of equipment. And so that means it had to have been someone who worked at the radio station, at the TV stations, or who was in close proximity to them, where they had access to the equipment.
I don't know. Like me, just being...
I think I might have to, get a Reddit account so I can, keep following this.
Oh, yeah. You don't have a Reddit account?
This is the first time I've ever been on Reddit. This is the first time I've ever been on Reddit. I'll never be on. I hear about it all the time, but I'll never be on here.
Fantastic. Like, the Reddit community is off the fucking walls. Like, they are so fucking awesome. It's amazing. I don't know. I have no words. Like, remember that story Carlos had read to us about the lady and her son?
Oh, yeah, with the aunt?
Yeah, and the son had just happened
that was on
to
Reddit?
Yeah. So it's like, whoa. Shit.
All right, so now that the Max Headroom thing is wrapped up, would you like to hear a couple of examples of other times people have hijacked the airwaves?
Yes. 1,000 times over. Tell me.
So these are the ones that I thought were funny that stuck out to me.
Okay,
so I only have a couple of them here. So the first one, which happened the year before, Captain Midnight.
Oh.
Let me tell you. April 27th, 1986, which is the year before, at 12:32 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Shit.
HBO, which stands for Home Box Office, for those of you who don't know, had its satellite signal feed from its operations center in Long Island, New York, interrupted by a man calling himself Captain Midnight.
Wow.
So pretty much he posts a picture that said, "Good evening, HBO," from Captain Midnight. $12.95 a month? No way.
Oh, shit. Calling him out on that price. Fuck.
Showtime / movie channel, beware.
Fuck.
Which is funny because it's like, that sounds a reasonable price.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I pay more for HBO now with the HBO app than that. I pay like $14.99 a month for HBO Max.
Damn.
And so he's talking about the actual cable channel was only $12.90. It moved up to $12.95 a month.
Yeah.
And so he was upset. He hacked in there. They ended up figuring out who it was.
Mm-hmm.
The man who, during the interruption, also threatened to hijack the signals of Showtime and the movie channel was later caught and identified as John R. McDougal of Florida.
God damn.
He was prosecuted shortly after authorities were tipped off by a man from Wisconsin in the phone booth who snitched him out.
Aw, fucking rat. on, he was just calling out the ridiculous prices. Okay, he was just, he was
Man,
doing mankind a favor.
it said he was able to perform the intrusion while working a second job as a master control operator at a satellite teleport in Florida. So he had access, just like whoever in the Max Headroom incident, he had access and he did it.
Oh shit.
The message was placed over SMPTE color bars. So those color bars that you see, well, used to see back in the day on TV, is placed over that.
Oh wow.
I can show you.
Please show me. Screen share.
With his message was like. Matter of fact, I should put this
on the IG.
Yeah, I should put it up. There, you see it? That's what it looks like.
Oh no way.
Good evening, HBO from Captain Midnight. $12.95 a month? ? No way.
That's
Showtime
crazy.
movie channel. Beware.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I actually remember seeing that. I think I know I've seen
a
that
picture of it somewhere.
Yeah. That's crazy. Oh my god. That kind of reminds me of the people who hijack the road signs. You know how it'll say like construction or something like that.
Oh yeah.
He'll go in there and put like all kinds of crazy shit. Lately it's fuck the police, but like they do other stuff,
Yeah. All right, so another one. Southern Television. This is from November 26, 1977. An audio message saying that it was from outer space was broadcast on ITN News Bulletin on Southern Television in the United Kingdom. The intrusion did not affect video signal, but replaced the program audio with warnings of the destiny of the human race and the disaster to affect the world and the beings in other worlds around you.
Oh my god. You know what that reminds me of? I'm frozen, by the way, but it's okay. It reminds it reminds me of back in the day when before we had TV, all there was radio. And they did the broadcast of War
the World of Worlds.
Yeah. And then people just started going crazy because they thought fucking the aliens
They didn't hear the beginning.
Nah,
they thought aliens was coming down.
That's why you watch the shit from the beginning. Don't just go randomly tune into shit. But yeah, that's what that reminds me of. Like, imagine being there and all of a sudden it's all like, your fucking alien warlords are coming en route.
Yeah, while you're trying to watch your show. Yeah, and on top of that, nobody was ever caught. Nobody was ever held responsible for this
one?
either.
It had to be the aliens. It was the aliens, I bet you.
I'm trying to remember. It says, however, others have pointed out that the fact that the alien voice spoke with a British accent and the fact that the aliens only managed to hijack a TV station in rural southern England make it more likely the source of a local human, possibly even one or more broadcast students pulling a hoax.
Probably. But come on, that's hilarious. And it's funny because it's going to happen in one of these little isolated areas because, like, nobody in the outside world's, like, really looking,
Well, some of these, they are. Okay, so this one on the Playboy channel.
Oh!
It says on September 6th, 1987. This is
Lord
also in 87 was a rough time for the TV. During a broadcast of softcore porn on the Playboy channel, the movie was interrupted by the message, "Thus saith the Lord thy God, remember the Sabbath and keep it holy. Repent, the kingdom of heaven is at hand," which is Exodus 28 and Matthew 4:17.
So what he's saying is keep it missionary style. Wham bam, thank you ma'am, shake hands and move on. No fun here.
So a man named Thomas Haney, an employee of the Christian Broadcasting Network, was convicted of satellite piracy in connection with the incident. Haney, who pleaded his innocence, was the first person convicted under the new federal law, which had made satellite hacking a felony following the Captain Midnight and Max Headroom incidents.
No way.
So after those two, they was like, no, y'all's getting in serious trouble if y'all do this again. And unfortunately for this dude, he was the first case.
It's all right. He went to jail for Jesus. It's all right.
Says Haney received 3 years of probation and $1,000 fine and 150 hours of community service.
Oh, that's not too bad. He's all right.
Yeah, because he could have done all those services at his church.
But more people are watching porn than there are people watching the service, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to find. But yeah, there are several incidents where porn shows up on stuff where it's not supposed to.
That's crazy.
Okay, so the last one, which is the most recent, because it happened on February 11th, 2013.
2013?
So, let me tell you, because I seen the clip.
Okay.
And what were they watching? They were watching the Steve Wilkos show.
Oh, the Steve Wilkos show?
So you're trying to watch, your
Steve.
daily dose of ratchet on TV. And during a moment where they had like a teen cheater lie detector test or whatever,
wow.
The show's audio was drowned out by the loud pulsing noises of the station's emergency alert system. So we've all heard that because those always happen during these shows during this time of day where they'd be like, oh, it's a test. And so that thing popped up, but instead of it being a test, it was the real thing. Well, it wasn't the real thing, but it was like it was saying that it was the real thing. Yeah, it was a fake real thing. I'm trying to see I didn't write down what it said. The show's audio was drowned out by loud pulsing noises of the station's emergency alert system, followed by a voice declaring the zombie apocalypse was imminent.
Oh
A scrolling blue bar at the top of the screen listed counties/areas surrounding the city that was affected. The voice continued, follow the messages on screen that will be updated as information becomes available. Do not attempt to approach or apprehend these bodies as they are considered extremely dangerous. Reuters quotes local police as saying that nobody appeared to be taken in by the hoax, although several viewers did make humorous calls to ask what guns will be effective against the undead hordes.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
I don't remember if they figured out who it was with this one either. I should have wrote down if they figured it out or not.
That's crazy. Like, imagine if people were, like, actually listened. They're like, oh my god, we knew it. The Umbrella what is the Umbrella Corp? They're over here fucking...
Oh, yeah, Umbrella Corp.
Yeah. Okay.
In my head, since you starting to say Umbrella Academy, I was like, that's not what that show's about.
No, Umbrella Corp. Oh my god. That's crazy.
Yeah, from Resident Evil.
Yeah. You know, it's funny because I can't remember what movie it was or what show, but there was one where they were releasing zombies in like police cars, like the trucks and stuff like that. They were releasing them. At one time, a police car that looked similar to that drove by, and I was like, are we gonna be one of the first people to get the release of the zombies here? I was so scared. I was all like, god damn,
I ain't gonna make it. I've already come to terms with this.
But I don't want to be
if the zombie apocalypse, same. So somebody's gonna have to shoot me because I don't want to be a zombie, nor do I want to be eaten.
Exactly. Remember, I've already told you, like, the golden rule: treat people the way you want to be treated. Please kill me. I want to be all the way dead before I get munched on, please. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, because at no point do I think it's going to be like warm bodies where we can come back or anything. Nah, that's out.
Oh no, that's romanticism of zombies. Oh hell no. They gonna be there and they gonna chomp your ass to pieces. You know what I wonder? Sometimes I wonder, like, I know they eat, but you know, just like people, like, what goes in's gotta come out.
Gotta come out. Well, at that point, if you don't care and you're already probably rotting, it doesn't matter if you're pooping on yourself as you're stumbling around.
True, you're right. You know what? I didn't even think about that. I was like, I'd be embarrassed, but like, I'd be dead.
As
what
a
would
zombie,
I care?
you'd be embarrassed.
That's crazy.
But yeah, that was the last of my research into what is it? Video piracy.
That's crazy. I really thought it was J&K. I thought we really did this. I thought we were gonna get away with it.
Me too, because I only had read the top part of that Reddit thing, but to keep going.
Shit.
And then the fact that someone had accused the Redditor of doing a separate hijacking.
Oh, I know.
Was hilarious.
Wow.
Like, because I know I seen that Super Bowl one, but it was like a footnote. Because there's been so many other incidents, like, where people have hacked feeds and stuff. Like okay, it says on September 7th, 2012, the Disney Channel once again was interrupted on the Dish Network, replacing 6 minutes of Lilo and Stitch with a portion of a hardcore and pornographic movie. Like, why would you do that? First of all, Lilo and Stitch is like very like important to us millennials, and so that was rude.
Oh my god, so rude. Come on, man.
I used to even watch the show. I used to watch the show sometimes.
Damn, y'all could have done that in the middle of Snow White, but Lilo and Stitch? God damn. You know Snow White has some shit going down with those 7 dwarfs. Come on, girl.
It says on April 20th, 2012, 3 minutes of a gay pornographic film was broadcast during the morning news show on Channel Zero, owned independent station in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada.
You know the best way to wake up?
The night before the cable was cut, while it was being fixed on the morning of the incident, the adult programming was spliced into the feed.
Wow.
There's a lot of times when porn... Oh, here's the first Disney Channel incident. On May 1st, 2007, a Comcast-headed replaced the Disney Channel's program Handy Manny with hardcore pornography for viewers in Lincroft, New Jersey. Comcast stated it was conducting an investigation into the event's cause, but did not announce findings to the public. People just be dropping porn wherever they can.
Well, that was crazy. I can't believe we just went through that together live. Wow.
Yeah, that's that about that. Before I keep dropping stuff, it's funny. The inspiration kind of for me researching this is I told you I watched those Watch Mojo countdowns. And one of them was about these. And so I used that video to get some facts, and then also I had to look up for additional facts.
Yeah. Shit. That was crazy.
Well, let's get these oracle cards.
All right. Let's see what the universe has in store for us today.
I don't know. The story that I kind of want to do now, I forgot what it's called, though. I gotta look it up. But I saw an article talking about it, like, yesterday, because it was talking about that they have the cast and everything for the movie.
Oh.
Because it's that wild. Like, it was literally, like, a Twitter post, too. A lot of these be interesting, like, forum posts and stuff. But, yeah, it was, like, it was this long Twitter thread. All right. Ooh, this one looks different. I've never seen this one before. It says, do not drink poison. Number 8. Do not do things you know are bad for you.
Girl, isn't that what we were just talking about in the... Oh, my God.
Let's read what it means. Number 8. It says, avoid toxic situations, people, or relationships. Do not partake in what you know is not best for you. Ending harmful relationships, changing toxic habits, or improving your nutrition and health regimen. A clean out from your home and pantry of substances, foods, even fabrics that can poison your personal environment. Changing unhealthy, harmful thoughts and beliefs about yourself and refusing to speak ill of others. Choosing to encourage, support, and lead through kindness and strength.
Aww.
That is this week's oracle card.
Yeah.
Do not drink poison.
Don't drink it, man. It might look like Kool-Aid, but don't do it. Don't do it, y'all.
I mean, people who know that we like watching and reading things about cults know that Kool-Aid is always suspect if you didn't make it yourself.
Exactly.
I don't know. I think it's just really talking about you just have to monitor what you're absorbing.
Yeah. Especially
in all senses. With people, with food, with anything. Monitor what you absorb.
Definitely.
All right. Well, that's the end of the episode. Reminder, if you ever think of any topics that you think that either me or Hyra would like, feel free to shoot your ideas over to our Instagram, Item 9 Podcast. You can DM us at any time. Both of us get the
messages,
notifications now.
Yeah, and if you're one of those people who's like, I don't want online or what is it, apps or stuff like that, go ahead and email us. item9podcast@gmail.com. Shoot us an email. You know, we always there ready. I get them directly to my phone, so I will probably be the one to reply. So
yeah, I get them on my phone too, but I just don't have notifications enabled for the email.
Oh yeah, just let us know. You know, we'd love to hear from you guys. For everyone else who's, you know, letting us know when our episodes get a little messed up or things like that, thank you for letting us know. It really helps us out. And, you know, we have some suggestions that people have given us, and we're working on them. We promise we're working on them. We just we're trying to make sure that we get all the information so you will be satisfied when we talk about it. So yeah, you guys keep sending stuff to us and we'll keep talking. This is Hyra
And Kim.
and don't you ever forget, you're the bee's knees.
Item 9.
We'll see you guys next Friday. Toodles.
Bye.